I want to start streaming. Okay. And this is supposed to, oh, there it is. All right, great. Hopefully people can see us live now. Now I can retweet this. Great. All right. Someone forgot to mute the stream at home.
That was me.
That was Bob. All right, that's good to know. Too many audio things here. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Right. Pause.
There's no fire on the screen.
Yeah. Different scenes. This one's not been updated yet. I'll get there.
Okay.
I was mostly happy with that other one, but it needs a little bit more work. All right. This says stream health is excellent. Good. All right. So hopefully everybody out there can hear us. We'll get started here. We usually give it a few minutes while people roll in. I think, the official start time is generally 9:35 for the meeting. And we'll do that. Today is the 10th. Good. Man, I can't believe it's already February.
Almost mid-February.
Yeah, almost my birthday, which is just like entirely too late for this time of year.
Pretty sure it happens at the same time every year.
You always say that when I say something like that. So.
Do I?
Yeah, you're pretty consistent.
Well, predictable, consistent, reliable. Come on.
Those words all mean about the same thing with different connotations on them. Hey,
Funny,
Jacob.
Funny that.
Is this the first time on YouTube? Haven't seen you in a while. I mean, I think. It feels like it's been a while.
Or at least out loud.
Yeah, right. Jacob's great about meeting roll call. So, anyway, it's great to have you here now. I'll just say that for sure. Ron said that he probably would not make it. He actually sent me an email saying he would not make it to today, which is too bad because today would be a great day for him to. He could ask some questions because he's been asking me some questions in email. I'm like, all right. On top of everything else, it's been kind of a nutso right now. So anyway, where are we at? 9:32. All right, keep going here. New call screen beta is now active. The previous version is still available in the layout picker. All right, more changes to Skype that I can deal with later. All right. So hopefully Jacob can hear us. He didn't respond at all, so I'm a little nervous.
I could hear us.
Oh, good. Let's see. What happens if I open that widget? Suggestions. Their current stream's bitrate is higher than the recommended. I'm pushing at 60, almost 65K. No, 6500K, sorry. And they recommend 2500K. That's really strange. That's a strange message to give me while we're sitting here because most people say they want, or most of the people say stream at 64K. Or 64K, not 25K. I wonder what YouTube's thinking. Anyway, they're like, we don't want that much data. I wonder if it affects them.
Yeah.
You're making it work harder to compress it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I probably could drop to 25K and it wouldn't be a problem. As long as the audio wasn't a problem, it would be okay. I guess. Yeah, right. There we go. All right, where are we at? One more minute. We'll get going here. We're just babbling on, getting everything set up. I guess I can go here while we're waiting. This is the meeting we're in. We'll get going very shortly. Right. Do not disturb on that button as well. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Audio feels a little low. Maybe I'll bump it up a little bit. Mine? It's a little high now. These sliders are so precise when they're in software. I'm clearly not a gamer. Me and my mousing ability just isn't there. All right. Should we do this? Get going? I think so. Something.
All right.
Yeah.
Bob's going to start furiously taking notes. All right, here we go.
I was going to furiously mute.
3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the WiX Online Meeting 229, working our way into the middle of February. We were just talking about, I can't believe it's this already now, and feels like the year just started. And Bob's like, well, it comes around this time every year. And I think he says it better than I do because that's clearly not my line. As always, these meetings are recorded for those of you that aren't with us right here, right now. So you're welcome. We hope you enjoy it. For you that are here, it's great to have you. Let's go talk about what we're going to do. And if you're here, go ahead and say hi. Jacob is in the house. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen Jacob, but very good to see him here. What are we going to do? We're going to do triage, and then we're going to talk about this thing that hit us starting, I guess, Tuesday night, the GitHub Actions cancellation. I'll give you guys, everybody, a status update about what's going on there, and then we'll do usual questions and comments, things like that going on. All right. So, well, happy to have you here, and I think the first thing we should go do is get into triage. You ready, Bob?
All right, sounds like a plan.
Let's see. Here we go. Sean, you reopened or retriaged this first bug.
Yep.
So where do you want to go?
I wasn't sure whether we could just close it. Like, do you have any idea why we would need to run related bundles newest or oldest to newest or whatever they were asking for? Yeah, they want to remove the newest bundles first. Do you see why there would be a problem if we did oldest to newest?
Newest first would probably remove the most stuff earliest first.
That would be the most normal way of removing things, right? I mean,
You know, it's curious. I don't think that MSI documents, a particular order.
no, that's true. They do not specify the order that major upgrades would execute in.
Well, it would, yeah, it'd be per row, but within the row, if there are multiple matches, I don't think, I know that they don't, dictate an order. I'd be curious what their order is. I don't think it matters, but if I were to pick an order, I would probably pick newest to oldest, because you're more likely to end up with the bulk of the work happening in the first uninstall and the rest of them being, basically just clean up no ops. But I think oldest to newest is also fine. I have no qualms that it's going to lead to bad behavior.
The feature request is logical. How important is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That one, it makes sense.
The thing is that there might be multiple upgrades. So you might be removing one bundle that's completely unrelated to another bundle, but you're going to compare their versions even though that
if they're
might
completely
not mean anything.
Yeah, totally. If they're completely unrelated, it would matter less.
I like the idea that there is a prescribed order. If Mike's right that this was, by GUID order, that's pretty, well, maybe it's pretty cool. I don't know. But having there be an order by version, whether it's oldest to newest or newest to oldest, is meh.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, today it's going to do oldest to newest.
Oldest
I think that's fine.
to newest. Okay. I mean, that one's interesting too. I could see that argument as well. Oldest to newest would remove all the ones that will have the least impact, and then the newest one does the most work at the very end, presumably, with the least amount of interference from all the older ones still in the machine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think Bob's probably right that the strongest point here is it'd be nice if there was a stable order just to remove that off chance that it only fails on this one guy's machine because that's the one machine that things happen.
Well, that was part of the other issue that I fixed, was that there's a stable order now.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just alphabetically by GUID anymore.
Right. For me, that's the high order bit.
Exactly. So oldest to newest. I think saying removed by version with the newest bundles removed first. I think it'd be fine to say this has been resolved. They are removed by version, just the oldest bundles first, and then go from there.
Yep.
I think we're going to get pushback. Definitely not from Mike. So, honestly, this is probably some Visual Studio thing.
Yeah.
All right.
11 years ago. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, easy one.
Yep.
All right, so that'll go away. I did not get a chance to look at this because I've been looking at what we'll talk about next instead. But I will. We'll get to this. All right. WiX deployed config files merging. Oh, this is guy wants the magical merge stuff. Figure out what to do with my config files and just merge them for me. Thing.
Yeah, so I actually did not close this primarily because, believe it or not, I could not find a feature request for JSON config.
Okay.
So I left it open for the possibility that we wanted to take this issue as a request for, JSON config functionality.
I don't know. We'd
mean,
have to
to me,
essentially
it looks
rewrite this
like-
issue.
To me, it looked like they were asking for like UI that would help the user
Yeah,
resolve conflicts.
I know.
Oh, not doing that.
Yeah, that's what the issue says up front, and then it
Yeah,
turned
that's
into, can we do something with JSON config files? And then it's like, well, no, I don't think we should change. I think we should close this issue, kick it out, and be like, if someone wants to open issue on for JSON, that would be fantastic if they want to do it. We know it's out there. I don't think we need something floating around for that. But this issue as written is not concrete enough to do anything with.
Works for me.
6721, ability to force uninstall bundle. Yep. Sean?
Yeah, so if you remember, I changed the logic to where it's going to look whether the package is actually installed at the end of the chain to decide when to unregister. So if we have any bugs in there, you're going to get to the point where you can't actually uninstall the bundle. So we probably should have some fail-safe option so the user can clean up even if we have a bug.
Are there any ways they could use this for evil? Maybe.
I mean, it might leave some things on the machine,
Right.
I guess.
If they don't have it.
I mean, if we add this, then people might use it and then things would get left on the machine when we didn't want it.
Right.
When we wanted the bundle to still be there.
Right. So is this,
Sorry,
you're thinking,
are you talking about forcing an uninstall or forcing bundle cleanup? Like, remember today we have, in V3 we have the force uninstall, right? Which basically says ignore the conditions, but it's still a normal uninstall. I'm not sure if you're talking about something like more like that or more like override the logic that keeps or removes the bundle registration. Sorry, it's registration. Is it uninstalling, force uninstalling the chain, or force unregistration?
I was thinking it would be force uninstall at the bundle level, because in V3 it's only at the package level.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
and it would it would remove the bundle from the add remove programs key and then the XE from the cache.
Yeah.
Anything else? Dependencies?
Well, yeah, it would do the dependencies as part of uninstalling the bundle.
Because
Like that's,
it would uninstall the chain. It would run the chain.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it should.
Yes. And then the thing is that if it fails to uninstall, it would still remove itself in the end.
Right. No matter what happened inside the chain, it's still gonna
Okay.
remove itself.
Yeah, that's interesting. Either way, you're going to end up with people, wanting to run a registry cleaner. It's probably better that, there's a switch that would let them do a best effort cleanup.
Uninstall everything. Would it remove the cache files?
It would try to do the right thing during the chain. So it would do whatever the BA requested. But then at the end, no matter what, it would unregister.
Basically ignore any. Would it ignore package? It wouldn't ignore. Would it ignore package failure? So if a package failed to uninstall, it would still remove itself.
Yeah.
So then you just end up with these packages left over. Would it still uncache them if a package failed to uninstall?
It would probably not.
Okay.
Unless I made it go out of its way.
Yeah, I'm just I don't have I don't know what the right answer is in those cases. I'm just trying to think through all of the where are we going to end up with when people use this thing, because they're going to use it like, oh look, this cleans it up, yay, and then find out that stuff was not. Trying to figure out how much is not actually cleaned up if you use this. So the cache should be 1 in the case of a package failure.
I mean, I guess we could force clean all the packages, the cache for each package.
Of course, a not insignificant number of removal failures are like, prompts for source. But it is, so from my perspective, I find this interesting just because I know there's there's an almost knee-jerk immediate reaction to this kind of failure as all right, time to, pull out the registry cleaner or worse yet, manual registry cleaning and deleting files from the package cache and all that. So it's interesting to make a best effort to clean up everything option available, I think, if, the alternative, because the alternative is worse, I think.
People hacking things and trying to get them off the machine.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that's been, like, in my mind, like a burn utilities pack, right? It's something that can go and clean up dependency. Look for orphans, basically, and in the timeout treatment of orphans everywhere, delete them. I'm not. Sorry, it just occurred to me. We're finding orphans.
I think
just so
Annie would
delete them.
take offense to that.
Yeah, well.
Where's the better tomorrow? Sorry.
Not all of us with shaved heads are, rich Daddy Warbucks types.
Guess which of us doesn't have much hair? Let's see.
Sorry. So I envision this as an external tool, right? Because there's a bunch of stuff that can go wrong, especially after a registry cleaner tries to clean without actually understanding everything that Burn does. So making it native is interesting. I think the functionality should live somewhere at some point. To be honest, this isn't I wouldn't consider this high priority at all, but it is one of those things that we could slip in that makes things slightly better in the case of stuff that just doesn't uninstall correctly, because it's annoyingly easy to get into that state. Hopefully you never ship that, but that has happened as well. Now, for me, the primary reason that I consider this as kind of an external tool is it's more likely that the uninstall is going to fail during an upgrade. And I don't see anything here that's like, okay, pass this switch to the bundle being upgraded during related bundle actions. So this is more of an this is more of an end state. Bring out the hammer before bringing out the sharpened sledgehammer of a registry cleaner.
Yeah, that's trying to give an alternative to people running registry cleaners.
Right.
What's the most likely case that you'll need this, that you'll end up using this?
Some kind of dependency bug where it thinks it needs to stay on the machine, but it shouldn't.
That Burn thinks this engine should stay on the machine because the dependency is out of whack. Or a bug calculated dependency is out of whack.
Or someone messed up a detect condition on an exe package or something.
Right. So where MSI has a force recache reinstall where you can at least stomp over the MSI that's already installed to get new logic there to then uninstall it or whatever, right? Here you don't get that option with a bundle. So the idea would be that this thing would let you out to get that thing off the machine after all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like the force recache reinstall for MSI, except it's probably more intuitive to what most people expect. It's like, no, I want that off the machine, not the let me force something forward so that then I could go backwards. This is really, just let that thing come off and I'll deal with the MSI package repercussions because I'm going to install again. And hopefully you use it in testing, not in production.
Ideally.
What do we name it?
One can hope.
What do we name it, though? See, it really has to say, do not use this normally. Like, you don't want someone to send it to a customer and have it feel natural. I want the customer to go, wait, what? Why am I running this command? This bundle messed up, burn.exe - this bundle messed up, so we have to force uninstall it. This bundle is messed up, so force uninstall.
That might be a bit of editorializing.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we don't want to just call it force uninstall, because then people will be like, oh yeah, that's the uninstall but the one that works. You're like, no, that's not the purpose of it at all.
Well, we don't have to document this. This doesn't have to show up, in the WiX standard BA help pop-up.
But it will somewhere.
That's going to happen no matter what.
That's why I was trying to give it a name that nobody ever wanted to use by default.
Like force unregister and cache, or force unregister and uncache.
The problem is that force doesn't scare anybody anymore. They're like, oh, that's the one that really works. That seems to be the attitude towards the word force now.
Unsafe cleanup.
Ooh. Unsafe may be the right keyword. Because it's actually correct. It's not safe, right? We're cleaning up whether you like it or not.
We're ignoring the dependencies, right? So
As the bundle dependencies.
yeah,
But like,
that's a little weaker.
if it's
but-
not supposed to uninstall a package, then it's not going to try.
Yeah.
Unsafe is pretty good.
Yeah, I'd be unsafe uninstall.
Mm-hmm. Jacob's idea of purge isn't bad either. It'd be unsafe purge, but the problem is I think purge probably oversells what it's going to do. Desperate.
True.
Desperate housewives of setup land. I don't know.
Pretty please uninstall.
No, that's too nice. Unsafe is
Yeah,
unsafe
but
is the right word.
If you're worried about people documenting it, pretty please uninstall. That's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hurt real bad.
Yeah,
Start
there
breaking
you
into
go.
the old Doom levels. Yeah, I think unsafe is probably the way to go. If it was called unsafe uninstall. Although going back, I'm also Bob's idea to use a separate tool is interesting as well.
Well, I think there's I like writing tools. I think there's plenty of room for Burn Explorer kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I agreed. I just wonder if this should be relegated to some side thing or if it should be in the burn engine. And I don't have a strong opinion, but it's a interesting thing. But if unsafe uninstall is probably the most unsafe force remove. Let's just get all the words. Force unsafe. It could be force unsafe uninstall.
Then you have to sit there and go through all the double negatives in your head to see if it's actually what you want.
Force desperate unsafe purge uninstall. I think unsafe uninstall is probably a decent one because it does say this is unsafe. You're like, wait, you're asking me to uninstall this unsafe? What are you doing to my machine? And that's really what you want people to think when you're doing it. Say, well, it's unsafe. We're removing it anyway. Best of luck. Uninstall of last resort. Yes. All right. So I think that would be the way to go. Are you thinking this in V4 right now, Sean, to head off any problems going forward?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
No, I'm not against that. All right. Seems reasonable to me. Unsafe uninstall.
Yeah.
Change that.
Are you volunteering, Sean?
Sure.
Yay.
Unless someone else is going to do it.
It sounds like fun. I'll get to it after I get my other one. Things. I'm just trying to get it below 50 so I can have less than 3 pages of bugs assigned to me.
I think Rob was kidding.
I added this bundle comment. I had this bundle downgrade are supposed to.
Yeah, this is just making sure Bob doesn't forget about this issue that I brought up.
Got it.
Huh?
Very
What?
good. He already forgot.
I heard
See?
my name.
He already forgot. All right. Yeah, so does this go to Bob then? Is that what that says?
No.
Notice how quickly I made sure it didn't come to me?
See, this is a problem because I'm the scribe. I'm like trying to fill out the previous bug, and you're off to the next one, assigning me work. What the hell?
6722.
All right. Well, Sean gets the next bug then.
Maybe. I don't know if the next bug sticks around. I don't know what the next one is. All right. Here. Oh, all right. Bob took it. Then I feel that we're in a safe place. Okay. Great. 6723 VS extension needs to support VS 2022. Oh, done with change. And then there's a closed duplicate of this.
Because that was another bug requesting the same in WiX 3.14.
Right.
So I did not close this one.
This isn't 3.14.
This is not in 3.14.
Sorry. This bug would be against 3.14.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're, if someone wants to
There are
go,
two aspects to VS 2022 support that are interesting. One is the actual custom action, which is very straightforward to support a new version, though more code duplication than I'd prefer. The second, that would be easy to port to 3.14. The second aspect is custom action bitness. VS 2022 is x64. It would not be unreasonable to request x64 custom actions. I'm not planning on doing that. I would not do that in 3.14. It would continue to be an x86 custom action like it is today. Custom action bitness selection that I did in V4 requires a new custom element.
yeah,
Because
no.
we can no longer rely on property
no.
refs to pull in the right custom actions.
Yeah,
so
no.
would
no.
not do
But
that in 3.14.
no. No. I don't care. If someone sent a PR for this at 3.14, would probably take it. I'm glad it's already done in 4. Need to go finish 4. So that's basically what this is all about. Sorry, didn't mean to go there. So yeah,
Would you do a build for it?
eventually we're going to do a 3.14 build. So yes, I mean there will be more 3.14 builds as the ramp up for helping port to WiX 4 comes along. So would I rush a build for this? If someone asked really nicely, I'd go do it, but I really don't want to spend any time there. So
I mean, it was Christopher Painter that was asking for it, and he's the one that did the 2019 stuff last time.
if he asked nicely, we take the PR.
Well, that's the linked bug.
Okay. Well then yeah. If someone sends a PR, we'll do the not the middle, the copy part. Right. That's fine. We take it. We do a build for him. Chris has been around for a long time, so we do it for him. Yeah.
Well, then how about we close this one and I will reopen the other one?
I don't care. How's this one different?
Sure.
V3 and V4, 2019. But that's not true, right? V4 goes to 2022, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So
For the last 6 weeks or so.
6 weeks. All right, so not that long. Okay, that's fine. Do all the things for 2019, for 2022, and 3.14. Fine. Yeah, fine. I don't care. Whichever bug. I don't. Sure. We aren't fighting for who has the highest bug open count here. Thank goodness. That was a thing at Microsoft, which always annoyed me. Testers out there trying to prove their value by opening more bugs, which was a very bad incentive for getting lots of duplicates and creating lots of work on the people that turned around and had them fix those bugs. I'm sorry, just busy. Sorry, that's my sensitivity. I don't care which bug we pick. It doesn't matter. Either one is fine. And if someone sends the PR 3.14 to do the detection, that's basically copy paste at 2019. Fine, we'll take it. And if Chris really, really wants it, we'll get him a build for it faster. All right. 6724. Yeah, this is a good point. Set variables added can set a variable to a static value. The analogous set property should be the analogous set property in MSI evaluates the string. Yes, okay, that's what I was looking for. Evaluates is the key word here. Right. So you can set it to, the value X, but you could not have the value of X. Right. Change the type attribute so that the source has a type And the target variable has a type. That's interesting. That last part, keep the existing type attribute so the source has a type and the value and the target has a type. So you're suggesting add a target type, essentially, Sean?
Yeah, I guess so.
And we can't do it all with just one type? I mean, you're basically saying take this. What does a target type allow us to do?
Because
Allows us
you
to.
want to be able to specify the source as a formatted string, but the destination is a literal string.
Oh, you want to make the destination a literal string, right? Right. That's the real change. I was trying to turn a string into a number, and I'm like, is there really value in doing that? But the formatted to literal string is a bit more interesting.
Basically formatted to whatever.
But what if something is formatted? Well, that's interesting. Now you can't do that in MSI. You can't use set property and assign it to another property. It's a string literal after the set property assigned to Windows installer. So if set variables type was allowed to be formatted, then it would evaluate the source. Whatever the result of that would then be assigned to the as a literal to the target. And that makes sense because when we resolve a variable, we resolve it all the way down, don't we? Oh, I've forgotten now.
Yeah.
So you could making the target of the set variable formatted is never going to have any formatting in it.
Right, but you might want to format it into a version, for example.
Yeah, see that's the changing the type that's interesting. You want to force the coercion.
We don't coerce today? Or this is just with the set variable element, right?
This is just the set variable. But like registry searches always give you strings. So if you want to do certain kind of comparisons, like a number comparison, there's no way to do that.
Oh, that's right. Type is like raw. That always returns a string. You can't say type version?
No.
What are the other ones? Oh, like paths, right?
No, numbers, strings,
Yeah.
formatted strings.
No. Sorry, like registry search. Registry search has a type attribute.
It only allows raw and number.
Yeah.
Number coerces, though, correct?
No, it keeps the hash or whatever, or it adds the hash or whatever.
Interesting.
That's just compatible with MSI there. That's yeah. It's essentially you want it. It's the yeah. See, it's the set variable. You want to declare the type of the target. Wait. What does the type define the type right now defines the target type, right? In set variable.
Well,
But
basically, I mean, it's kind of both. It's saying this is the type of the string that I have in the XML, and then that type is going to be used when it sets the variable.
so you can't change the type of a variable is basically what it comes down to. Essentially, you want to cast here. And we don't have a cast operator in Burn today.
Yeah, we want to take the value of a different variable and then be able to cast it into a different type in a different variable.
So can we do that with one attribute? Because the source is whatever it is, and then the type could specify the target, and then it's being coerced. So the tricky one then is the formatted string, right? Because all those other scenarios would work. You could then take a source of a version and say the type on the set variable is string, and it would convert the version into a string, and you'd be off the races. And vice versa. It could be a string version, and you could say a string that happens to be a version and assign it to a type set version to a variable. And now you'd have a version of type variable. So that type value can be used to do a cast now. We just have, and if you say type, it's string right now. Is that's string literal, right? I haven't looked at that in so
Yeah, I'm
long.
pretty sure we kept string as literal and
Yeah.
formatted is
Yes,
the
that's what I
format.
hoped we did. I just didn't want to assume, but it's been so long. I haven't had to use that. Haven't got to use that feature in Burn. I look forward to being able to use that feature in Burn. I just haven't had to yet. So in that case, if you said the output type was, if the type was literal, a string, and the source is formatted, then it should format it. And if the type was formatted, it should just copy it. That would be a way to, I mean, I think all that makes sense with the current type attribute. Essentially just saying, we know what the source type is. What do you want this type of the variable? And we will do coercion like we would any other time to jump over. And if the type is string and the source is formatted, then we will format it into the string literal. Does that make sense?
But when you're authoring it and you want a string, it can't tell whether the source is a literal or a formatted.
You have a hard-coded value. Right, so we won't know the type of that. Well, no, if you say string literal, then we will attempt to format the child,
So you're saying the source of the set variable should always be treated as formatted.
I think so. I was working my way to that point. I think so. I'm trying to figure out if that has any problems. But I think that's it. Does that make sense?
The only thing to think about is today we're trying to be smart and we inspect the hard-coded value to try to figure out whether it should be, like if you don't specify the type,
Yep.
we try to figure out what it should be.
Yeah, and we would continue to do that. And so if we inspect it and you don't say, then we're going to say it's a. Sorry. So if we look at it like, oh, that's a number, so then we're going to say the type is number if you didn't say. And if we look at it, it's like, oh, that's a version. So that, and if it's a string or if it's anything else, it's a string at that point. And then so we would say the output type is string. Yes, but we just keep assuming the source type is formatted.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think it also behaves the way people expect it to then. I'm going to get a string literal out of this, unless you say it's formatted, right? If you say the type is formatted, then that string just gets copied over. It's like, yeah, okay, we won't do any evaluation because you asked to take this formatted string and put it into another formatted string. There you go. It has not been turned into it has not been evaluated. Boom. Which could be really cool. You could do some interesting things with that, I think. Yeah, you could end up creating formatted, you could end up at runtime building up formatted strings. Yeah, that's interesting. So I think it all works if the source type is considered formatted string.
Yeah.
And I think it works correctly for everybody else.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. I think that's that one. Is this a
Are
4
we
thing?
doing this? That was my question. Thank you.
I'll let Bob go ahead.
Yeah, I can do
Are we
that.
doing this in 4?
Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of finishing it's a finishing touch on the set variable because set variable is new in 4. So
Right.
And the formatted stuff is new as
yeah,
well.
and the formatted stuff is new too. That's a very good point. Yep.
Yep.
Oakley dokley. We're down to 1 again. Great. I'll be back next week, I promise. All right. So that was fun. Let's go talk about what's been keeping me busy instead of that one issue. GitHub Actions status. All of our builds right now on GitHub Actions, so like every time you submit a PR and things like that, are being auto-canceled roughly 4 to 5 minutes into the build. Consistently, just out of the gate. It seemed to have started Tuesday evening, and it seems to be only happening to us. I've asked around, and it doesn't seem like anybody else is hitting this. So on Wednesday, I opened a ticket, and GitHub is investigating that ticket. I've been assured they are looking at it, and they have gone through. It was funny, it was being explained to me as like they're going through the 7 stages of grief, and they were currently in denial that there's no way this could be happening. Fortunately, it can repros consistently, so they very rapidly got to not acceptance. What's the one after denial? Anger, whatever. Everyone so far that has dug into this at all has come to a similar conclusion. We think it has to do with the fact that we're updating Visual Studio on the build machine to add the ARM binaries. We need those because, well, we build for ARM, and they are missing in the GitHub image. And the theory is that Tuesday, being Patch Tuesday, yay, did you have your reboot this week? Has done something that's now causing Visual Studio to force a restart, even though we tell it not to restart when applying the ARM stuff. And so it just so happens that Visual Studio is doing its thing, and then 4 minutes later, the machine decides, yeah, now's a good time to restart thanks to whatever Visual Studio did. That seems to be the current working theory, but the GitHub guys are trying to get down to the root cause of this. So I'm hoping we'll get an interesting story from them out of this. At the same time, I have gone and done, honestly, what I should have done before and submitted the change to the image to turn the ARM, to add the ARM libraries that we need to the image. That has been accepted this morning and is going to be rolled out whenever they roll out the next set of images, which happens 1 to 2 weeks kinds of things, which isn't good for our build right now.
Well, wait. Did you request the other toolset as well?
Which other tool set?
We need the V141 toolset.
Yes, I asked for the 141. So I went to the 2019 builds have the 141 ARM in it, and it was just missing from 2022. So it was very easy to put in. It's like, here, 141, you have it for x86, x64. If you want to build ARM, you need the ARM libraries. Here's the lines to add the ARM libraries, and they took it. And so hopefully 2022 will look very much more like 2019 when it comes to building ARM libraries within a week, or I don't know, it depends on what their ship cycle is or where we hit the ship cycle on the images. They're also rolling out 2022, the image that we're using as the latest image, the standard image, so we'll get caught up on that. So anyway, this is still affecting us. Sean has been maintaining in the background the AppBear library for us, which has turned out to be a great thing. So we're able to at least go and see if things pass on that side. On top of this, when I've added and I've tried to fix up validation and get us several tests, those tests are now, they were consistently working before I committed, and they made it through all the builds before the build started blowing up. And then after that, they've been intermittent. Different issues are showing up. So on top of all this, that made life interesting. That issue is still there, and that's what I'm working on. With AppBear in place, we can at least take PRs, verify that they're built on AppBear, which has the ARM libraries on by default, and so can get through the whole build. And so we're gonna, kind of live in this state a little bit until we see what happens based off of the GitHub responses, both on how long it takes the image to get around and what they find is the root cause of this issue at the end. So it'll be an interesting learning experience with GitHub Actions at the end of this. all I can say is that everything is underway, and I don't have anything. I don't have exact timing on when things are done or will be done, but it's going. And in the meantime, we'll limp along with the app there in the background with the GitHub failing. And if it lasts too long, we will evaluate other options.
Yeah,
So
on top of that, we also noticed that we were having x64 binaries in the 32-bit folder for the SDK.
I think that's a bug that I have just now exposed by actually testing more things using those, and
So
that's just
I
something I'm
went,
digging into.
I looked back,
Yeah.
and before your change, it was all x86.
Yeah.
So there was 32-bit binaries in the 64-bit folder before your
Okay.
change.
And now there's 64-bit binaries in both?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how that might have happened because I was having failures building inside MS Build 64-bit inside Visual Studio when they were 32-bit because of course it didn't match, and I did not apparently make the fix correct to get 32 and 32 and 64 and 64. So I will go figure that.
But the
I took
thing
that issue.
is that you broke me and AppBear when you switched it. So I created a issue with MS Build where MS Build is loading the wrong task. So like the test is running 64-bit MS Build, but it's loading our 32-bit task
Well, that's interesting.
in proc.
Wait, it's loading the 32-bit?
Yeah.
See, this is the part I don't understand because all these tests were in and passing.
So there's an MS Build issue here that should have caught this problem.
Yeah, what I don't understand is why are we seeing it now when we didn't see it when I was building it? Like, I actually changed something to make it work in 64-bit. Why is it now failing when it worked here and then it worked on the build machine when I submitted that to this? That doesn't, unless there was was there an MS Build change? Did we get an MS Build change of Visual Studio on Tuesday that did this? Is that possible?
Something that's different is that I don't use the developer command prompt initialization. I manually set the path to the 2022 MS Build.
Okay.
And I had set up AppBear to do the same thing. So
that is different.
So that's one wrinkle in that MS Build issue is that the issue with loading the wrong DLL is only exposed in my setup.
Okay.
And not your setup or the GitHub Actions setup.
Yep. That'll be interesting to find the root of that then. So that explains. So you don't run you don't import the developer command prompt to get all the libraries and everything hooked up. Okay. Well, then, so does that mean I'll go fix it, get the binaries right, and then we'll figure out what we do with MS Build after that. I mean,
so my guess is that you might have to keep those tests skipped until we figure out the MS Build issue.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to go figure that out then.
Because my guess is that once you get the binaries correct, it's going to start failing.
A different way? You say it's failing for you now. Oh, you say it's going to start failing for me? Well, okay.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. All right. Well, that's good to know that I may have things non-related to having the wrong bitness binaries in these folders that I'll have to watch out for. All right. Yeah. So we had a cascade of issues hit all Tuesday night after everything was working Tuesday afternoon, and I went to go get kids. So I was like, great, everything passed, it's all green. Come back and everything's blowing up. And I'm just like, okay, that's odd. Because nothing was bypassed to get here. So patch update Tuesday for the win, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's the state of that. Fun stuff. Other things people want to talk about. Anything else going on in the world? Things out there to discuss? Don't have I'm trying to get myself down to 2 pages worth of issues, which would be 50. So getting closer, but still more work to do.
Do you think you can do the exe package bugs for me?
Oh, those are blocking you? Okay. Yeah, I'll look at those again then. I don't have huge priorities. I have 2 large things to do, cab spanning and then all the patching stuff. And at some point, I'm just going to have to, well, I'm going to prioritize those and just start just trudging my way through those last, I hope, the last 2 big things. But I could do the XC package fixes first before I do that. Yeah, I'm looking at the validation failures right now, of course, but I'll look at the XC package commands next. Or it's detect, right? The detect stuff, detect condition,
Yeah, detect condition and yeah, I guess
permanence.
it's 2 bugs
whatever.
around that.
Yeah, yeah, all around the same thing. Yep.
And then it would have been nice to have the patching stuff before I made all those dependency changes. So it'll be interesting to see how the tests do once we get all that patching stuff working again.
Yeah, so yeah, one of the things I'm going to do, I have a commit already started, is that I found a number of tests were still skipped and didn't have GitHub issues tracking them. And so as part of doing the validation work, I added validation for merge modules and found just a series of bugs in there, which means, well, a lot of our tests were disabled in that whole area. So it's like, ugh, okay, great. And added a bunch around merge modules, things like that. So that just was like more work than I expected for, honestly, I thought for something that I already had was going to be easy and done. By the way, I'm filling space. If you guys have questions from the chat, that's mostly what we're leaving here. But this is, we're catching up here. So I want to make sure you guys have enough time to type and have it go out to the internet and come back to me to make sure we have time to answer that. Anyway, so yes, the patching thing is, I'm not looking forward to it, but I've pretty much always dreaded getting into patching. I mean, it's not my area of expertise and I don't enjoy it, but the people that do work on it aren't working on it anymore. So I have inherited all of that and get to make it work. So it'll be fun at some point.
I'm looking forward to how patching will work in WiX v4. I think it'll be a big improvement over WiX 3.
Well, it's way less complicated from a user point of view, and it's not more complicated internally, but that's unfortunately not saying nearly anything given how complicated patching is.
Nope, that's true.
Just when I was first getting into it again, I had totally forgotten about the 2 transforms, and at this very moment, I cannot describe the purpose of the 2 transforms because I never hold it in my head long enough because I don't deal with it enough. So I always have to relearn or just reload that dual transform context again, and it just creates the wackiest things inside the code to handle the different transforms. It's just like, oh gosh, and that's just 2 if you have only one baseline. Then it just explodes from there as you have multiple baselines. It's just, I do not enjoy patching in any way, shape, or form. But
no, I've been in that code and it's very unpleasant. Yeah. But you remembered that there are 2, so that's the first step.
Yeah, it's really bad if you don't know there's 2. I mean, you're like, what is going on here? This doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, that's patching. I honestly think I'm going to tackle cab spanning first before I tackle patching. Mostly because I was in the cab code again recently because of the live stream, and we were diagnosing why the incremental build wasn't working, and ended up having to go down to the cabs and try to blame it on cab code. And in the end, I think we did blame it on the cab code. So once I got in there and then got back out and saw the cab spanning stuff around, I'm like, all right, this at least is relatively straightforward work. I just have to get set up and then work my way through dealing with all of the complications it creates in the system. But it's not a multi-week problem, I don't think, like patching could turn into. So I think it's going to be mentally much easier to get cab spanning done as one of the big features, as one of the big rocks, to get that done and breathe and be like, all right, cool, that was good, and then know to tackle patching, as opposed to tackle patching, survive that, and then come back and go, and I still have to do cab spanning. So that's why I think I'm taking cab spanning first. But I will go do the XE package detect condition permanent bit of stuff before I jump into cap spanning. All right, I have filled a bunch of time there. Chat has been nice and quiet, or unfortunately quiet. I hope you guys are doing all right. We will be back in 2 weeks. I think that's normal. Normal slot, yep, 24. I will be older, although I guess that's kind of a tautology, but we'll see that. So 2 weeks from now, same place, same time, doing the same thing. Hopefully we see all of you again. Maybe we'll see some more people. And we will do the same thing. We'll do triage and we'll talk about anything else that's going on. Hopefully everything is working smoothly and we just have a lower bug count when we get there. Sound good? I think that's it. All right. Until next time, you guys take it easy. See you later. Bye.
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 All right. Well, thanks for showing up. I'm glad, Ron, you were able to make it in the end, and Zach. And it was great to see Zach showing up, and Jacob. It was great to see that. Jacob's very quiet. I wonder if Jacob's like working on the side there. Normally he's like jumping in our chat constantly, but maybe he was uninterested in our topics. Or maybe
What?
chat's hard
That's
to...
not possible.
Not possible. Well, today's topics, I don't know. We didn't cover the gambit, although they were kind of in his wheelhouse with, some of the burn stuff. Most of the burn stuff. Anyway. Or maybe the new chat window is a problem for people and just typing that. I don't know.
I mean, Jacob typed burn stuff.
Yeah, some. I'm just used to seeing gobs and gobs. Nah, I had issues at first. Oh,
Yeah,
had issues at first. All right.
He emailed me and Bob saying that it wasn't working for him.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
He said that it auto paused, and he didn't realize
Oh, the
that
stream
it had paused.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird. When I got on early, the stream didn't start automatically. Interesting.
it's fair. I only found out yesterday during your live stream that the live button on the control bar there will get you caught up to date.
Yes, if you push the live button, you can jump
Yeah.
to immediate. Yeah. And interesting. Yeah. New interfaces, things. YouTube continues to tweak things. I've seen small changes around, so I'm hoping they keep working on it and go for it. What was strange was that I could see chat. Oh, well, yeah. So for better or worse, YouTube, as you watch it live, you can pause it, right? And then you can catch up, which is really nice if you need to get up and walk away and you don't want to miss anything. You just pause it and you walk away. It's like live DVR. It's actually kind of cool. But maybe they have user interfaces. Yeah, maybe they have user interfaces issues around when you hit play. You don't realize that you're not live. Also, I do think they're working more to optimize for, let's just say, more popular streams. Streams with more content flowing through them, or questions or people talking to them, than we have right now, where we have a nice core, solid set of people that show up regularly and interact with us, and we have the ability to respond to them directly, as opposed to streaming masses of hundreds of people just watching famous people talk and make things, stuff like that. But yeah. Interesting. You find it that there's 15-second chat latency for the online meetings, but Let's Code has only a few seconds of latency. All right. Well, I thought I had that setting set. Yeah, I have it for ultra low latency, so they should be the same. I don't. They should be the same. I don't see anything here that says why they would be different. I even stream at the same bitrate, I think. I could look at that too, if that's the thing. That's interesting to know, Zach. 15 to 20-second chat latency is pretty far off, though. That's like the old normal latency, right, Bob? Isn't that what we were at?
The Twitch.
Yeah, but Twitch was
right,
faster,
on Twitch.
right? Was Twitch that slow?
Twitch was pretty janky.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then I've noticed there's a huge difference for me. Well, so your live stream yesterday, I usually have the video up on my TV because I only have one, wide monitor. My other monitor is portrait, so I can't read the text if I
Yeah.
shove the window over there.
Yeah.
But then I have the same YouTube page open in a browser, shoved over to the side so I can do chat.
Yeah.
But and that way I have my big monitor so I can keep working. But I
Wait,
noticed that
I don't have your
the
undivided
audio,
attention? No, sorry, joking.
well, you want to pay me to listen to your live stream?
Exactly.
Fine, that works.
No, I'm joking. Actually, I hope that it's something that you could have in the background and just be like, oh, yeah, that's actually interesting.
Right.
And then the rest of it you can
Right.
ignore.
Well, except for when you say, and Bob will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like, damn it.
I just have to make sure you're still awake.
Yeah, true. Anyway, the audio on the TV was about 5 seconds behind the audio on my PC.
Oh, yeah.
Which, and now granted, these are different networks.
Oh, yeah.
My TV's running off of DSL and my PC is not, so that's possible. But just like, oh man, that just.
And they were both live.
Yeah, they both showed us live. Yeah.
But I can see that even here at home if we get two people on YouTube live things like Bradley, my son, and I will get like he'll be watching a YouTube or a StarCraft live game, and then I'll have it and I can hear differences between those two as well myself, like 2 seconds, like one of us can be ahead of each other, and that's in same house but different computers,
Right.
And you both click live, they're still offset a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean, still, as I've said before, I find all this really amazing that any of this works.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at Microsoft trying to start one, someone had figured out how to stream from your phone, and I got into a beta on it, and oh my gosh, it was just so janky. It just did not work, but I wanted it to work. I thought this would be a great way to have meetings about WiX outside the company, and none of it worked. Now, it's like, yeah, it's easy. Well, I don't know, easy. The software is all available. It can take a little bit to get used to. So, is Zach, Jacob, anybody that's still there? Is the audio all right? Is the audio today better or worse from previous meetings, or the same? Is any of that different? Give him a second to catch up. I'm curious because I've finally started centralizing on my one audio system that I like, and it works well. But I don't know if it actually sounds any different to people out there. It seems clearer. That's good. That's what I would hope. So one of the big differences, I've switched off my headset that I would use. And so I'm onto my standalone mic, which of course is bad. Not bad. Got quieter halfway through. Volume. Yeah, I don't think I pushed anything on this side. So if anybody else found that I got quieter, that would be things. Different tone. Yeah, no, it's a different mic. It is a much better mic than the mic I had before. Bob should sound the same because I assume you're still using your headset, Bob?
I am today, yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably what I
haven't
sounded like
changed.
before. And I know Sean switched. But yeah, I'm on my production quality mic. No, that's not. It's not even close to production. It's plastic. It's a very nice microphone that allows me to route all of the sound in through it, so I can get the levels right, send them out to you guys, and have it all work.
Yeah, I didn't change my mic.
You didn't? Not recently,
No.
but a while ago, right? Something?
Like a year ago,
Oh,
maybe.
okay. I don't know. Yeah, I'm seriously considering shipping Bob a mic and just to get him a slightly better one, just a slightly crisper sound. But that means that he's going to be subjected to all of the funny things you get when you have multiple mics plugged into your system, and we already have enough issues with that.
Yeah,
so-
I already have that. Yeah, I already have that problem
Right.
because I have the speakerphone that I use sometimes as well. So
Right. But I might because it sounds like Bob has dialed into the show is usually what it feels like.
dialed in via modem.
Not a modem, just like straight out of the 80s.
From a phone.
Oh, phone line. Okay, sorry.
Phone line, yes, phone. And what are you using, Sean? Do you have a headset mic or?
I have a mic, like a headset mic. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, but you're probably one of those high quality gaming ones, right? Because for all of your, no, I don't know.
Well, I actually have, well, too many of those, including an actual Xbox headset.
Yeah, none of them.
But I lose out on the ability to hear my own voice because they cover my ears, and so I can never tell how loud I'm talking. And I think I overcompensate when I have used those headsets in the past, either one being way too quiet or two being way too loud. I don't think I ever got it exactly right because I'm missing that feedback. And every time I've tried to fix it through software, you get, delays of barely perceptible, but perceptible enough that it kind of drove me crazy. And
Yeah. So you should run it the way I run it, where I can hear my own self through the stream output, which of course is, which is delayed
Yeah,
slightly.
no.
It always throws me off. Yeah, no. So,
Nope,
but
nope.
I've actually
No.
gotten to the point where I trust the system enough that I turn that off now. I don't have to
you're
listen to
getting-
myself, and then
You're
because
getting output from your mic, right? That was what was really interesting when you
Right,
described
right.
that to me.
and that's why I've been thinking about shipping you one of these mics, because you
Right.
could then plug your
That would
headset
work.
straight in and it would be fine.
Right.
Where I started though is I listened to myself with the stream output, which of course is where I synthesize all the sounds together before they get sent out to the outside world. And that one always has a little bit of delay because it has to do all the work to synthesize sound. And I did that because I was terrified that all the other sound wasn't happening.
Right.
And it's really only in the last week that I finally went, you know what? I trust this. And when I did the Let's Code with Tim this week, it got really weird hearing him and everything like that.
Right.
So I switched it to just having his routed into my headphones and not me routed my headphones, and it got much better. So now I'm on to that mode. So as long as I get the levels set up correct up front, then everything's good. And Zach says it sounds good, so yay! It's progress. I'm happy about that. So anyway, it's little things. You can spend gazillions of dollars on a mic, or you can spend, I don't know, you can spend a little bit, around $100, and you can get a decent, plug it into your computer mic that sounds so much better than everything else. You're like, yeah, okay, that's usually worth it. So anyway, all right. Well, I think that's today's meeting. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully with fewer bugs, hopefully with a working GitHub Actions, and hopefully they'll explain actually what went down with the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I am definitely curious to know what happened, but it seems like I found the right people to poke to get the attention on it. So let's see, hopefully where that goes.
Thank God for Twitter.
Yeah. Well, just be nice to people and maintain, connections, even if they move to Ireland. So, 2 weeks, guys. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.